Hey everyone, welcome to The Explainer. I am so thrilled to have you all here today. Get ready, because we're about to unpack a really structured, incredibly valuable module all about building up your professional presence. We're going to break down the actual nuts and bolts of, well, architecting workplace confidence. And look, we're not just talking about vague feelings or good vibes today, right? We are looking at a definitive, structured system, drawn directly from our source material that you can literally start applying to your career right now.
Okay, let's dive into this. The source text actually opens with this incredibly empathetic and honestly brutally honest premise. Confidence can be a tough thing to build up. And I love that because it completely validates that universal struggle so many of us face. It's really not just you. Acknowledging that this is inherently tricky is just the absolute best starting point. It kind of strips away all that guilt and sets a super realistic foundation for the whole methodology we're about to explore. So, to tackle this challenge, the framework breaks the solution down into two distinct phases. Let's start with phase 1, independent action.
Right? So the foundational step of this module involves putting in real, independent effort. The source material really emphasizes starting with, quote, handy tips and self-help ideas. Basically, this means rolling up your sleeves and trying out some personal strategies first. It's the absolute groundwork of self-reliance. Think of yourself as the literal architect of your career, right? These self-help tips, they're your initial set of tools to start laying those structural bricks of your own confidence. You've got to pour that foundation before you can even think about building the walls.
But here is where the text gets incredibly practical and, frankly, really comforting. The methodology specifically reminds us, if you're still having a hard time, even after trying these self-help ideas, don't worry. I absolutely love this. I love how it intentionally normalizes the fact that, self-help isn't always a magic silver bullet. You might try the tips and it still feels kind of structurally unsound, and that is completely okay. The strategy doesn't just end there. It actively anticipates this hurdle in the building process.
And that brings us right into the next part, phase 2, collaborative action.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how the module pivots here. We go from isolated self-help directly over to relying on external human support. It explicitly directs us to find extra support and to boost confidence with the help of others. Basically, when your independent foundation needs reinforcing, you bring in the crew. You aren't expected to figure it all out in a vacuum anymore. The methodology totally acknowledges that true professional confidence, it's often a team sport. It requires collaborative scaffolding.
And this brilliantly illustrates the complete dual-layered strategy we've been talking about. On one side, you have your independent self-help ideas. That's your baseline defense. But then seamlessly integrated on the other side is that collaborative extra support, your reinforcement. It's a beautifully balanced approach, honestly. It ensures you always have a clear next step, whether you're putting in the work internally or you're reaching out externally to really stabilize your professional presence.
So let's step back for a second and look at the whole picture with Section 3, the overarching framework.
Let's move to and see how this builds into an exact, step-by-step conditional logic outlined right there in the source material. Step 1, you try the handy self-help tips. That's your initial input. Step 2 is the condition. If it's still hard, do not panic. And then, the logical progression to Step 3, you bring in reinforcements to boost your confidence with the help of others. It's basically an algorithm for personal growth. It provides this incredible structural guarantee that you are literally never out of options.
So, the crucial point is that this text isn't just throwing a few random pieces of advice your way. As the source itself explicitly states, this module focuses on a proper methodology. It's a targeted, official, and structured approach designed to architect your self-confidence specifically at the workplace. It gives you this reliable, structural system to lean on whenever that imposter syndrome starts creeping in. And it really proves that confidence isn't just magic, it's engineered.
Which leaves us with a pretty critical question to answer. Which part of this methodology will you rely on to architect your workplace confidence today? Are you in phase 1, needing to dig into that independent self-help? Or are you maybe at phase 2, ready to boldly seek out that extra support? Identify your phase, take that next structured step, and start building. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.